On ASEAN Highlight this week, we take a look at the passing of the U.S. debt deal and the general global economic outlook resulting from the debt problems in the U.S. and Europe. On Monday this week, the U.S. Senate passed a bill that raises the world's biggest economy's debt ceiling that helped the United States avoid a default, with promises of more than $2 trillion of budget cuts from federal spending over the next decade. The measure, signed by President Barack Obama on Tuesday, would provide an immediate $400 billion increase in the $14.3 trillion borrowing cap, with $500 billion more assured this autumn. The U.S. government presently borrows more than 40 cents for every dollar it spends, and without an infusion of borrowing authority, the government would face an unprecedented default on U.S. loans and obligations. And while the general outlook is still bleak for America, things certainly do not look brighter across the Atlantic. The unmanageable levels of debt in Spain and Italy could promise similar EU cash bailout deal like the one in Greece, Ireland and Portugal, despite various governments' efforts to prevent this from happening. The disappointing US and European data are accompanied by a slowdown in India and China's economic growth, as exports have been affected across the board by the weaker US dollar and euros. In the coming weeks and months, analysts warn that ASEAN economies will need to carefully monitor the level of capital inflow into the region, which would inevitably push up the strength of local currencies and affecting the export sectors. Already this week, the Swiss and the Japanese governments intervene in the currency markets to weaken their currencies in the current global economic landscape. Tropical storm Nok-Ten hits parts of Southeast Asia and southern China this week, causing floods in various places. More in this report.
Director General of the Thai Meteorological Department, Torsak Wanitkajon, said the tropical storm Nok-Ten last Saturday night struck Vietnam, Laos and northern, northeastern and eastern region of Thailand, causing the water level in the Mekong River to rise and flash floods in various regions of Thailand. In Nan province, 3 districts including Phu Pieng, Vieng Sa and Nanoi have been seriously hit by flash floods, which submerged more than 500 rais of local farmlands, roads and houses. In Mae Hong Son province, Pai district was heavily inundated and flash floods damaged local businesses situated along the river, including hotels and resorts. The water level, however, receded on Monday. In Nong Khai and Phra provinces, flash floods closed down some sections of the main roads, while local people evacuated to higher grounds. Their properties and cars were damaged by fallen trees, and the Mekong River water level was measured at 12.3 centimeters. The Nok-Ten storm, which struck the region, was on Monday downgraded to a depression. The Thai Ministry of Public Health reported the total number of deaths in Thailand at 9. Akanit Wichienjaran of Thai News Agency, ASEAN TV.
On Tuesday this week, thousands of people rallied for independence from Indonesia in the archipelago's nation's Papua region. More in this report. Thousands of indigenous Papuans marched on the local parliament in Jayapura, the capital of Indonesia's Papua, on Tuesday, demanding a referendum for independence from the archipelago nation. In Manokwari, the capital of West Papua province, about 1,000 people took to the city streets. The coordinated protests, which were largely peaceful, came amidst a climate of fear generated by violence from interclan political fighting, as well as attacks that the West Papua National Committee claimed to be provoked or even instigated by the Indonesian security forces. The protests also coincide with a conference in Oxford, England, that was organized to challenge Indonesia's rule legally over the area that is also known locally as Irian Jaya. The Indonesian government and military have been criticized in the past for human rights abuses in the province after Indonesia took over Papua in 1969 from Dutch colonial rule in a vote by community leaders that were widely criticized as flawed. Home to a mine with the world's largest gold reserves as well as the largest recoverable copper reserves, the resource-rich province is still attracting investors from abroad despite the ongoing low-level separatist insurgency. The Islamic holy month of Ramadan began this week as Muslims across Southeast Asia began the annual religious tradition of fasting during daylight.
A giant clock on what is believed to be the world's largest clock tower in the city of Mecca, Saudi Arabia, was lit up on Monday to mark the beginning of the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, the holy month of Ramadan. Traditionally, the period during which Muslims fast in the daytime began when the new moon was sighted. And across Southeast Asia, Muslims mark the fasting month in various ways. In the city of Jakarta, the capital city of the world's most populous Muslim country, closed signs hung on restaurant doors and empty street food cars lined alleyways. And shops also remained to be shuttered on Monday. At a small mosque in Jakarta, men prayed together while waiting for the time of fasting to end at sunset. Over in Kuala Lumpur of Malaysia, street vendors that sell clothes, accessories, dates and confectionaries set up stalls along the main streets of the city to serve the bustling shoppers before sunset of the first fasting day. The festivity came at a time when prices of commodities are on the rise, fueled by the weak global economy, but these vendors were only able to raise the price of their goods marginally on worries that customers would not buy from them. It is expected that 16 million Muslims across Malaysia will be observing the fasting ritual of the holy month. The timing of Ramadan when Muslims fast from dusk to dawn can vary in different Muslim countries depending on when the new moon is sighted. Muslims will then celebrate Islam's largest festival, Eid al-Fitr, after the 30-day fasting period. ASEAN TV News Team of Thai News Agency reporting for ASEAN TV.
We wrap up this edition of ASEAN Highlights by taking a look at how the Thai government viewed the impact from the ASEAN Economic Community 2015 on the Thai agricultural sector. More in this report.
Rice, cassava, corn, sugar, and rubber are agricultural products of which Thailand is one of the largest exporters in the world. But to retain this position, Thailand will need to strengthen its long-term competitiveness, particularly as the ASEAN Economic Community or the AEC in 2015 will bring about free trade in the region. Secretary of the Office of Agricultural Economics, Apichat Jongskul, says the Thai Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives, or the MOAC, has begun preparing for the ASEAN Economic Community by implementing sustainable development policies. To improve yields, the MOAC began increasing the country's irrigable area, which now forms only 20% of the total area. To raise the safety standards, the ministry began educating farmers about the use of appropriate seeds, fertilizers, and chemicals. The aim is for Thailand to be able to compete with other suppliers in the region by improving product quality and not by reducing price. To reduce production costs, the MOAC began to decrease loss during a harvest. For instance, Thai rice suffers a 12% loss during a harvest due to inappropriate technology.
การเก็บข้าวที่ความชื้นที่ยังไม่ดียังไม่แห้งพอเนี่ยการร่วงเวลาสีก็มีการแตกหักมากขึ้นนะฮะค่าใช้จ่ายในการที่จะต้องไปอบไปอะไรอีกเพิ่มขึ้นอีกค่าใช้จ่ายมันเพิ่มขึ้นทั้งสิ้นนะฮะเพราะฉะนั้นเทคโนโลยีหลังการเก็บเกี่ยวที่จะป้องกันการสูญเสียหลังการเก็บเกี่ยวเนี่ยมันจะช่วยเยอะมากในหลายๆด้านหลายๆสิ่ง
In addition, the MOAC also established a fund for agricultural production restructuring. Not only is the aim of the fund to increase farmers' long-term competitiveness, it is also to help develop strategies for coping with free trade in the region. With these initiatives, Mr. Apichat is confident Thailand will be able to continue exporting its agricultural products and to retain its position among the world's top exporters. Thailand not only has good underlying conditions such as fertile land, it also offers a wide variety of high-quality products. Now, when the ASEAN Economic Community is formed in 2015, it wouldn't be a stretch to imagine Thailand developing into a trading hub of agricultural products in ASEAN.
ค้าข้าวก็จับกับประเทศค้าข้าวค้ายางเราก็จับมือกับประเทศที่ผลิตยางนะเราก็จะอาจจะเป็นฮับทางด้านสินค้าเกษตรนะครับในการทั้งเรื่องของการขายในเรื่องของการดูแลตลาด
The establishment of the ASEAN Economic Community will also be an opportunity for Thailand to cooperate with other ASEAN countries. Mr. Apichat hopes that as ASEAN consolidates into a single community, ASEAN as a whole will also have more bargaining power in the global arena. Akanit Wichianjaran of Thai News Agency, ASEAN TV.
That's it for this edition of ASEAN Highlights. On behalf of the Thai News Agency ASEAN News Desk, I hope you all will have a lovely weekend and Swadee Krap.